Hello, this is Nemesis with another video review, and this is actually the MakeToys cross-dimension Striker Noir, the repaint of Striker Manus, or as they like to put it on the box, the MTCD-01SP version of, Striker Manus. It's Striker Noir, obviously Nemesis Prime, black and red, all that stuff. Also comes with a bunch of extra stuff that the Striker Manus did not. And I'm finally getting around to reviewing them. I've had them for a while now, and yeah, it's a great little toy. As you can see, I'll get to it in a bit, but of course, box, a pretty large box actually, because, well, lots of stuff to include in it. Very nice artwork actually. The lights are kind of, because it's so glossy, the lights are kind of the lights are kind of washing it out, unfortunately, but it's really nice artwork. You got the MakeToys logo and Striker Noir and all that stuff. You got that on top as well, cross dimension. Their little crazy line warnings and stuff on the bottom. The actual figure on the side, again, glare. There we go. It's mitigated a little. Again, picture, except this time in truck mode. Like more glossy. And on the back, you got a whole bunch of pictures of Striker Noir and Striker Manus and Despotron, Rider Despotron, and what's in the box right here. You can see all the weapons and whatnot, and Morse text I can't read. And yes, showing you all the weapons and stuff that came in the box. Of course, none of the other figures come with him. But anyway, Striker Manus also comes with more stuff, including, on the truck, you got the little bio card. I think it's plastic. I can't tell. It might be just slim cardboard. But yeah, bio card with the same artwork. Glossy plastic blocks, I think. And on the back, you got the AR code for a Thunder Erebus, which is actually out as of this review, and I'm about to get mine soon. You got the instructions, which are just Striker Manus's instructions, so red on there, and you got the instructions for assembling the weapons. These are actually, the weapon assembly instructions are actually very helpful, and also on the back you got a little instruction video for MakeToys, because they started doing that recently, which is really nice. If the instructions are good enough, they have video instructions. And also in there's a little blurb about that was taped to the bag, about making sure to split the legs how it work for alt mode, because the instructions are not very clear on that. So it's nice that they include that. But anyway, this is the truck for Striker Noir. Gonna adjust the camera just a little bit more. And yeah, it's a semi, as it should be, and it rolls pretty nice. You can hear it grinding a bit. It's plastic wheels, but I really like this truck mode. I know this truck mode is kind of doesn't have a lot of fans. A lot of people don't like it because, as people say, they sacrifice the alt mode for the sake of the robot mode, and I can understand that line of thinking, but I like this truck mode, actually. What it reminds me of is like 80s dystopian future movies, so like Total Recall or RoboCop or something. That's the kind of design it evokes, this big, imposing wall of just black and red just kind of barreling at you at like 100 miles an hour, about to burst through a wall. That's what it reminds me of. But it's a really nice truck mode and everything. You can see, silver, or dark gray detailing back here, and the red windshield and the red lights and silver, nice silver there, a little silver vent detailing and whatnot. Stuff's picked out as well. The only thing I regret is this part. There's no paint here to pick out like taillights or anything, but that's a minor complaint. Silver wheels though. Everything looks really nice in my opinion. I really like this alt mode a lot more than I think a lot of other people do, and everything's also really nicely tucked away underneath it. Again, rolls really well. I really like this truck mode. I know a lot of people don't, but I do also like these little, just little silver, like I guess, little lights for the top, just little tiny ones, just picked on silver. Nice little detail they didn't have to do. But I really like this truck mode. Again, the 80s dystopian thing is what it reminds me of. So I really like that sort of thing. And also, as I said, it came with a bunch of weapons. Here's the thing about the weapons. On this box, they're all nice and laid out and everything. They come on sprues. So get a set of little plastic nippers or something to do that better. You have to assemble the weapons yourself. I like doing it, but I know some people might find that frustrating. But yeah, there's a ton of weapons that come with it. Just a quick summary. Comes with this gun, which is very evocative of G1 Prime's gun. I think this is intended for Striker Manus, although of course he can wield it himself. He's got that gun. He's got these I guess dual rifles here. You got these, which also can be split apart to be little smaller guns. You can hold this as a smaller like SMG. I got those. Let's see. He's got 2 pistols. Again, just gray. 2 pistols. Pretty simple, straightforward. There, those are. And he's got, let's see, where are they? Ah, here they are. These katanas, dual katanas. I guess katanas, or I think there's actually a proper name for the bigger versions, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, 2 katanas, again, just gray plastic again. And he's got this larger red transparent sword, translucent. This is actually a really cool little sword. It's got a little hand guard right here too and everything. This is actually a pretty nice sword. Got this little bar thing, which the katanas or whatever can plug into. There's a little slot here. Let's see, I gotta line this up properly. Little slot. I believe that, no, that's upside down. I think. There. Yeah, you can plug it like this and then hold this part. It's a little weird, but okay. I can't remember, but yeah, that's kind of what its primary purpose is for. Got this little laser-looking sword thing, which can also bend at the handle, which is strange. This little effect can also plug into this little black box thing. This is actually intended for Rider Despotron. I do not have Rider Despotron, so I can't properly show, but it's supposed to like attach to his cannon or something. And then this part right here can attach to it. This little slot right somewhere. I'm trying to remember where exactly. I think that's it. Yeah, right here. No, that's not it. I don't remember how this part goes. I think that's it, but I can't remember for sure. Yeah, it's supposed to attach to that, or is it this part? I don't remember because I didn't pay attention because I don't have Rider Despotron. Sorry. But yeah, that's supposed to attach to a different part. And this, of course, is this crazy anime-esque gun blade thing that's just gigantic and it's like longer than the truck itself. It's insane. I love it. It's so stupid. I love it. And it can be held. That's the thing, is it got 2 handles, so it can be held as a gun or it can be held as a sword. So that's crazy. And it got these little black pieces which attach to the truck or the robot, so he can attach the weapons to him. He can carry him around if he's not holding them in his hands. So yeah, tons of accessories, which why he's a little more expensive than Manus. You can see they're all laid out there. And the cool thing is, this isn't really documented in the instructions, but this gun can actually attach. There's this part right here. You see that? There's little slots, little tabs, tabs, I should say, on top of the gun. And there's little slots right here between the legs. You can actually attach the gun like that, and it actually holds in really securely. And you can store that gun right there. And again, that gun's intended for Striker Manus mostly, so it can be attached to Striker Manus like that. Because, well, Striker Noir, he's got this whole thing with these pieces, which can attach. Let's see, I believe, yeah, these little tabs right here go into the back of right here on the silver parts. I believe this is the correct orientation. I might be slightly off, but yeah, put those on there, and then you can start storing like the swords and stuff. So these little holes go on these pegs, and you just put them on like this, so you can carry around the guns or these big swords. It's kind of crazy. So that, I believe, thanks to the slots on these parts, you can also attach more stuff if you really want to. Let's see if there's enough room here. Yeah, you can attach a lot of stuff. You can't get everything attached, unfortunately, but you can get a lot of it attached. But not everything will fit, unfortunately, but you can select some stuff to attach and go crazy. So you can have, I think this can still plug in the middle. Yeah, there's just enough room you can plug this into. I'm just going to try because I have to disassemble it, but yeah, you can plug at least 2 rifles, 2 sword things, and that gun, at least, or at least 2 pistols, whatever you want. Something, any of these handles, they all have the same handle slot thing, so you can at least attach 2 of them there. So you go a little crazy, and yeah, it's kind of insane. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach these though, because, well, you can't leave them attached if you're gonna transform it. Oops. These can stay attached. These are actually more weapons for him. But we'll get to those in a little bit when we get to the robot mode, which we'll be getting to as soon as I clear away all this stuff away from the table. Because, yeah, again, lots of stuff to get through on this guy. Because he has so many accessories. I mean, I'm glad you can store most of them, just not all of them, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and get into robot mode, but first thing, before I want to make a note of this, when you go into back to alt mode, there's a lot of tabs and slots involved, it's particularly around here and whatnot, and the underside. Just watch out for those, so just be sure to line them all up. It can be a little difficult at times, but it can get there. And also the other thing is he can feel... There's this feeling of he's fragile. He's not. He's actually pretty hefty and actually pretty sturdy. There's a lot of parts you have to sometimes give more force that might seem comfortable. Go ahead. If you're giving it force to do something you know you're doing the right thing, go ahead and give it more force than you might realize you need to do so. It's sturdier than it might seem. Just be aware of that. Again, these tabs right here in particular. But first things first, you want to remove this roof piece. Just slide it up. Right there, and this will become a gun. First thing you want to do is move that down and push this right here. There's a spot right here you can push in, and then you can grab on this side and pull it out all the way, and then this part right here will fold out, and it can be a little stubborn, but make sure this is pulled all the way out, and then you can fold it out and it'll click into place. This doesn't have a click spot, and then you can take this back half and fold it together and put it all up, and boom, you got his gun. There you go, done. Put that off to the side for now. And for the chuck itself, first thing you want to do is take these panels right here, and just at the back, just kind of move it outward, kind of at the angle like this, and then slide it down like this. These are also supposed to be flared out, so if they aren't sitting flush, don't worry, they are supposed to flare out. Again, just you kind of want to take back here and just kind of at an angle, unplug it, because it's plugging in this panel right here. It's plugging in at multiple points. It's plugging in at this slot are both being plugged in at the same time. So just kind of want to angle it out, and that will be a lot easier than trying to just straight back or straight out. And from there, I'm gonna move the camera up just a tad. From there, you want to take these little gas tanks or whatever and rotate them backwards. They're on tabs and they might be a little tough, but you rotate them backwards to get them out of the way. And then you want to take these side panels right here. You want to untab it and move it out. And then they're on a little rail system. You want to move them forward on that rail to all the way forward and then fold them down. Same on the side. And the nice thing is they move smoothly, but when they get to the end, they move slowly and kind of hang. The friction holds them in place, so at each end, it's nice. So you get that. And then this gray part, the grill, kind of get a finger in there and pull it out. It does tab in. This little part right here will tab into this spot right here. So just be aware of that and move it down, and now it'll free up a lot of stuff. And then from there, you want to, you want to untab from the bottom these parts, these arm parts. You can start pulling them out. They also tab in back here. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but they've tab in back here. You can go ahead and start sliding them out, and they'll start moving out. And sometimes, yes, these little smokestacks will come off. That's not a big deal. They're supposed to come off. Yeah, you can start moving them out. It can be a little tricky. Sometimes stuff is kind of bumping into each other, but you can do it. Just got to pay attention. And you move them out, and there's this little tab here, goes in that slot there. And you want to fold this part in. See, it's folded out here. You want to fold it in, it'll click into place. And do the same on this side. Fold it out. Tab it in. Snap this part in. That's one part done. You want to rotate these right here. Rotate as well. And then back here, the fist is there. Make sure to fold the fist in this way, so the fingers are exposed like this. It has to be done that way, or else it will not fit. Rotate the fist and close that up. Same on this side. Oh yeah, when you go into truck mode, make sure these are out. They have to be out. If they're closed up, it will not go into truck mode properly, and you'll be sitting there wondering what the heck's going on. I did that the first time I transformed this. I was like, what the heck? Oh, that's what's going on. Because again, sometimes the instructions aren't great. MakeToys has always kind of had trouble with instructions, which is why I'm glad they're starting to do video stuff. So you can do all that. Then around here on the back, you untab here, and you can move the head up on this little plank and secure it up here. And you're starting to see where the robot's coming in at. From here, get these arms out of the way. These parts up here, you want to move them up. It can be a little tricky. It's built joint. What I like to do is kind of move them out downward like this. They'll click, and then you can just move them up. Move together like this. Rotate this entire top half around like that. And then back here, this is where I like to move this out of the way. Move it down, and then move this down so it's covering up the wheels like this. It'll kind of move into place. The wheels are nice and solid, and then you take the grill. And there's two hinges down here. There's the silver hinge, which completes the bumper, and then the second hinge, which is where you want to put this is the second hinge here. And this will come over these little black things on the top right here, and it kind of hold up. It doesn't really hold anything together, but it still folds nice and flat. Hope that was all on camera. Should have been, yeah. Gonna adjust a little bit more. And these legs from here, make sure these gas tanks are out of the way. Split the legs apart, and also up here, these little parts. This is easy to forget. Actually, I like to take these gas tanks and move them all the way up. This part, you want to rotate them forward so this green part's facing forward. Same on this side, just, goes from here. You rotate up. Be a little tricky to get your fingers around there. And then you can put the gas tanks up. That makes it a little easier. Okay, now the legs are split. What you want to do is out back here, the leg will come out. It's actually tabbed in back here. You want to untab it and move the leg up. Make a nice satisfying click when it's in the right spot. Like that. Now it's fully extended. Same on this side. Extend the leg up. It's not a slider. Remember that. It's not a slider. And then take the feet here. You want to kind of move them forward. That kind of helps untab it. And then this is the part where I think a lot trips people up, which is why people complain these don't stand well. There's this flat part right here on the gray. You want to make sure you want to rotate here. It's a really stiff joint. You want to rotate so that flat part's facing down, and then you move this toe piece, and you fold it the right way. There's a little slot here for this tab, and there's multiple hinges there, and then you fold it all up, and there you go. You got your foot. It's got to look like that. There will always be a wheel down here, but for the most part, it should not be rotating too much. Believe it or not, the tire treads actually catch on the plastic somewhat. At least when it's fully a certain angle. Again, all that same stuff on this foot. Move it forward so untab. Rotate everything here so that this part right here is flat against the ground. And then move this toe forward so it slots into this part right here, and boom, you got the foot done. It's time to take shape. It's almost done. Last thing you gotta do is these thigh pieces. You gotta slide them inward. It's easy to do that. You just put your thumb right here and click it in. And there you go. Oops. That was me. You got Striker Noir in his robot mode. And this robot mode is fantastic. This is my first exposure to the MakeToys Cross Dimension line. And wow, this thing looks amazing. I mean, this is also a lot of teal, which was not in the truck mode suddenly shows up. You got the teal here, 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 and here. Just this stuff was hidden in truck mode, and suddenly it's here. It's a really nice little bit of highlighting there. I like the general look of the head. I mean, see if I can just zoom in on that. The head. It's got a really nice sculpt to it. It's got a lot of angles, but also rounded off parts. I like the big shoulders here. I like those little touches of gray. This nice translucent red, which is over silver detailing, which you can kind of see hints of a matrix chamber of sorts in there. And you can see some of the tires, and again the teal detailing and all this stuff. It's just, and then just a lot of detailing in general, just kind of all comes together. I love how this guy looks. It's a fantastic looking robot mode. And of course you can take his rifle here and just, it's got a little rail system so you can slot in the hand. And that's all the weapons have that. They have some sort of little rail so they hold securely in the hand. They're not coming out, which is nice. None of the guns will come out on you like, oh, whoops. It's a lot better than some other figures. And even in ways, it's kind of a nice way to do it without resorting to just still have posable hands and not have to without full 5mm peg system. And yeah, those hands. Of course, there's other weapons up here, which are actually his smokestacks, and they can pop off, as you've probably seen multiple times because they keep popping up. They're axes. You can just, hold them like anything else. Again, rail system. Just slide it in. Don't even have to open the hand. Of course, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to get the rail to slide up, line up properly. But once you do, you'll know because you can feel a bit of resistance. And there we go. He's got an axe. Another cool thing is, because of the way these weapons work, there's a little hole right here on the bottom. And it'll slide right in like that. Now he's got this dual bladed thing. I'm not sure what you call it, but neat, whatever it is. So he's got that. But I prefer to keep the axes stored away up here. They just little slot, simple little slot, see-through slot, which is actually important. Which just tabs on. There's a little tab on the shoulder, and boom. Yeah. Posability, though, I'll get to his other accessories in a second. But posability, oh man, that's the big selling point of the cross-dimension line. He's got a ball-jointed head, which is super expressive. I mean, look at that head waggle. Just all over the place. Full 360, tilting left and right, up and down. You can look up pretty far. You can look down pretty far. It's pretty crazy how much posability this ball joint has. His shoulders, you can move forward and back there on a little ball joint there. They also got a dedicated joint for just the outward motion. They can also, thanks to the ball joint, butterfly a bit. Move forward and back. So lots of posability there. Even also the nice design is because of how big the shoulders are, the smokestacks do not touch his head. So you can still do full outward. He's got a bicep swivel. Right here. His elbows are not double jointed, but they do have quite the curl. It's quite a bit of curl there. No double joint. It looks like they might have a double joint, but no, it's not double jointed. At least or if it is double jointed, mine's so tight I can't move the second joint. He's got a wrist swivel right there, which is really nice. Thanks to the transformation, he also has a little bit of angling, which is nice for the swords. It's actually quite a bit. He can do full blown 90 degree. Of course, his fingers can open. It's also one finger's on its own joint, so you can do that. So he can't really point because you can't straighten it out, but again, that plus the knuckle, and this one goes farther than the rest of these hands. These hands only go far. No thumb articulation though, which I think is overkill for a figure this size. Waist though, full unhindered waist. I mean, even with these gas tanks up, they don't start really moving too much because of the design, although things can catch, but not a big deal. You can just move them back into position. And then under that, crazy ab crunch, which is also integrated in the transformation. So yeah, crazy ab crunch there, which is super nice for posing. Thighs, or hips I should say, they go forward about that far. And these pieces that you transform right here can get out of the way. They're just little swivels, so they don't go crazy, but they go about that far, almost fully forward. They go back that far, outward, that far. He can't do the full splits because of this little hinge, unfortunately, but still, that's quite a bit of motion. It's got thigh swivels right below there, like right below, doesn't break up the sculpt at all. So nice thigh swivels. Double jointed knee. It's got that joint. He's got the second joint. If you want to do full curl, you have to do the bend, then bend the lower joint first. So that's pretty crazy how much that helps. Right there. And of course, at the foot, he's got quite a bit of ankle articulation side to side and forward and back. Although the forward and back is a little tighter. He's still got it. Mostly back, I should say. Mostly back, but a little tiny bit of forward, mostly because of sculpting. But still, Lots of posing possibilities. Lots of them. I mean, that was pretty quick. That's his whole thing, is he is crazy. Their whole, if I recall, the whole point of this line was try to be as posable as most action figures, but still have a working transformer. And, well, they succeeded, pretty much. Again, I think the biggest limitation here would be the ankles don't move forward a whole lot, and the hips are a little limited side to side. But it's not that bad. In fact, I would still say it's a crazy, awesome figure when it comes to posability. And, well, again, accessories, yes, he can hold so many of them. I mean, get to them in a second. Of course, like I said, the rifles, these are cool because what happens is these have slots right here. These have little slots, which end tabs right here. They have tabs in the back, right here where my thumb is, and they have slots as well. So you can just attach them straight on the shoulder, like this or something, however you want. You can do that. Or go crazy. Go crazy and drop it. And drop everything else. Go me. You can go crazy. And, well, attach the gun here with this tab. Attach that. You can, of course, do that on both sides. Because why not? Am I right? So now he's got these crazy tall shoulder things. Although on the right side, mine's a little looser than I'd like. So sometimes if you look at it funny, it'll just kind of fall off. That's a bit unfortunate there. But we're not done. Of course, he's got those little black attachment pieces. Yeah, they work here in this mode too. Back here. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Is not the greatest connection. I just barely bumped that. But it's solid for once you get it posed and everything. It won't fall off randomly if it's just sitting on your shelf. But when you're messing with it, it might do so. These little pieces back here. Let's see. They can attach via these little slots. Yeah, these little slots right here on the back bumper. You can attach through those. And they nicely they fit nicely right here in the back. And now they cannot stay on, by the way, for transformation. If you want to transform it, you have to remove those. They do not stay on. Some people are disappointed in that. I don't mind so much because again, this is kind of crazy what they pulled off. If we can just get these back on. And that's my biggest issues. Those aren't the most secure connection. Back here, focus. And back here, those swords, once again, those crazy swords, can attach back here. It's very tight right here. This one is very tight, but they can attach. Yeah, see, now he's got a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, I should show this off for sure. Yeah, again, this is part of the really nice reason why these hands can angle down. Again, you're gonna have to open the fingers a little bit, but line it up in place. Boom. He's using it as a gun. And again, I'm knocking that off. That's gonna happen a lot. You can use it as a gun, or again, rails back here too, so you can use it as a sword. And it's very tall to the point that it's way off frame. But yeah, you can do that, or of course, if you don't want him to hold the crazy anime weapon, you can just attach it back here. Like that. And again, he's actually, again, pretty stable with those attached. Those are lightweight enough that they won't cause severe like back heaviness. These pistols, again, he can hold those, again, the rail system, or you can open up these little side panels a little bit. You can open them up. And these little tabs right here, it's hard to see them. There's little tabs right here. And these little slots in the pistols, you can use those And it's not the most secure connection, but you can use those and angle it just right so that he has both pistols holstered on his legs, which is, yeah, it's a crazy amount. And this also works on Striker Manus, is my understanding. None of the moldings change. So all this that works here can also work on Striker Manus. So if you have one of those, you can do this. And, oh yeah, again, the same slots oh my gosh. The same slots which you could use in the truck mode for storing guns, you can use for storing guns back here, although it has to be a very specific direction because of the rail system. And again, this sword can be also slightly angled, I believe, or might have to, no, that won't work on this because of the way it's angled again. Although, no wait, yeah, I forgot, that's a ball joint, so you can use that, slot it in, see if it works. Or maybe not. Yeah, that's too, the problem is I think the handle's too long. Check that. Yeah, that's not working, unfortunately. Oh well. I thought you could. I was wrong. Yeah, so you got that, and the problem is, eventually you run to a point of you are running out of places to put stuff. Stuff will stop fitting at this point. You can get like, I believe this gun. That's too wide. The problem is that's too wide. So yeah, you can hold all but like a handful, like 2 weapons. That's the crazy part. So like if you like grab one of the swords or something, those are the only things, like at this point, these are the last few things he can't hold. Well, you have one hand, so let's see. Put that in. And there you go. The only thing you can't hold is this weird bar thing and the 2 katanas at this point. Everything else is on him, except for also the weird Despotron thing. But that's for Despotron, not him. So everything else is on him, though. And that's the crazy part, is he can hold all of that. Yeah, he can hold all of this. Again, I was knocking. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is these do not have the greatest. These are a very tenuous connection, unfortunately. That's my only gripe right here. But once you get it on the shelf, they'll hold on pretty solid. You know, it won't fall off unless you start, you know, jostling around, knocking it off. But yeah, all this stuff you can hold. It's kind of crazy. It's a little edgelord, if we're going to be honest. Says the guy who calls himself Nemesis Prime. Yeah, right. So, yeah, he can hold a lot. He's a walking arsenal. The only thing is there's nowhere, once you get to this point, there's nowhere to, like, put the katanas or whatever. This thing. I'm still not sure what the heck this is really. I mean, this does have the hole for soaring on the back. Unfortunately, there's only room for 2 weapons. There's really not room for anything else. But he can hold those. The other thing is the pistols can also fall out because, again, it's not this most secure connection. But again, once you're on, if it's on the shelf, it's fine. If you're messing with it with your hands, then that's when things go bad. So once you got everything on, don't touch it ever again unless you, well, want to pull everything off. As I say here, trying to fix the pistol. So again, crazy posable. He's crazy posable. Even still, the posability is not really hampered by all this stuff, except for maybe these guns. You got to watch out for those. But you can still pose him. You can still knock stuff off of him. That's going to be a running joke at this point. You can not, but once you got him posed, again, he can pose even with all this crap on him. Again, this stuff's not heavy enough to cause any real weight distribution issues, which is good. So he can still pose. He can still pose. He can still hold all this stuff. It's really nice that he can hold all this stuff, except for just a handful. I mean, there comes a point where it's just kind of, what do you do? I mean, if they attach something on these, like these rifles, you could possibly, like, I see that. Like, even if you say another, like, as if they had a tab like right here or something on the sword, they could have like had these attached to the rifles as well. And this bar, I don't know what to do with the bar really. It's kind of a weird thing. I'm not really sure. I mean, yeah, it's just strange. it's clearly like you're supposed to be able to attach like this beam sword to this, and it's kind of weird. I'm not sure. It just looks goofy. This is the one thing I think this is the weakest part. Honestly, just everything, no matter what you attach to it, just looks goofy. But other than that, yeah, it's actually crazy. Just the sheer amount of weapons. I mean, just you can attach most of them to him. You can give them to the other cross dimension figures, which there's right there, Striker Manus, Rider Despotron, Noir, and the Erebus is just hitting stores and whatnot. People are just now getting him, and then Thunder Manus will be coming, and apparently they've teased Seekers and Ultra Magnus maybe as coming too. And it looks like maybe God Bomber. I'm not sure if that's just going to be an armor attachment for Thunder Manus or if he's going to be full-fledged figure as well. I'm not sure yet. No one knows because they haven't really just discussed that. But anyway, Noir here. He looks fantastic. Even people who I've seen people who still say, oh, I don't really go for Nemesis Prime repaints, but this guy looks so cool, I have to get him anyway. And yeah, he's great. I'm someone who likes having Nemesis Prime stuff, hence, my stupid online name. So this guy is fantastic. I don't even have a Manus yet. Now because of this one thing, I'm getting Erebus. I'm thinking about getting Manus and Riot and Despotron. This one guy sold me on the cross dimension line and the entire line. Like I'm like pretty much just in. Like, yeah, you announce a new one, I'm in. Yeah, sure, cool, oh, cool. But that's the crazy thing. This one figure, like MakeToys has become. I went from not really caring to like loving like almost everything MakeToys puts out. Like, I just keep buying stuff from them, so it's kind of crazy. I love this figure. I adore this figure. He's still in stock at a lot of places. He's supposed to be a limited release, but a lot of places just ordered a lot of him, and he's still in stock at many places. He's about $90, because $10 more than Manus, but that's because of all the weapons. I recommend him definitely. If you have a non-masterpiece collection, the Classics Generations section, for this guy fits in really well. He is a phenomenal purchase in my opinion. He fits in that, or if you're just going to go ahead and almost be like me and basically start a cross-dimension shelf, this guy will fit in. This guy is amazing. I do not regret spending this $90 on this guy. Absolutely worth it. Again, just a couple little tolerance issues with the tabs on these weapons. That's my only big concern. And again, he's sat here without anything falling off or anything, so it's just when you start, moving, jostling around, that stuff might start coming off. But he's crazy posable. He's got a fantastic looking robot mode. I like the alt mode, although a lot of people don't. I kind of get why people don't, but I'm not one of those. I actually like the alt mode as well. He's just a fantastic figure by himself. He's also a good size. I mean, he's like, I think someone called him like a large Voyager. Hold on. Let me see. Here, yeah. I'll just grab Tidal Wave here real quick. You can see, yeah, he's like a large Voyager. I'll stand him up straight, actually. Stand him up straight, and yeah, you can see that he's just a bit larger than an average Voyager. So, yeah, he's like a large Voyager, I guess, or a small Ultra, if you remember the Beast Wars designations. Yeah, he's worth the $90, in my opinion. He is absolutely worth that $90, especially with all those gun things. I know some people have just actually resorted to selling off the gun set, and that's cool. Some people just want the guns, and other people don't. So if you don't really want the gun stuff, you can probably find someone who will take it. No problem. The weapon stuff. But yeah, definitely worth the $90 for sure. This is a fantastic figure. It became like instantly one of my favorites. Like I got it, and it's just he's one of my favorites, and I'm super looking forward to Thunder Erebus because he looks phenomenal too. And I'll have him soon, so hopefully there's that. And I've been babbling for too long. Get him. Go get him. Like him or Manus. Either way. Even without all these weapons, I'd still like this guy a lot. So I'm gonna try to get Manus and Despotron in the future. I'm getting Erebus soon. I'm just gonna keep following the cross dimension line because I think MakeToys has really onto something here, and hopefully that will continue on and super successful and everything because I want more cross dimension. I really do. So I'm done babbling. That's it for him. That's it for this review. Striker Noir. Get him. and I'll see you next time.